We're Team Blue Cat. We're working with Google Crowdsource to help them improve their product. Google Crowdsource is a microtasking platform that provides Google with data for its machine learning algorithms. As users, primarily college students, contribute to the platform, they receive badges and level ups. Users can conduct simple tasks like content annotation and translation. We set out to help Google Crowdsource understand what makes a microtasking platform sticky, or not sticky. Our goal was to understand what would drive more people to stay on the platform longer and contribute more often. To do this, we conducted a series of evaluations: interviews, comparative evaluations, surveys, heuristic evaluations, and usability tests. Our studies targeted university students, Crowdsource's target demographic. We started by creating an interaction map of the entire Google Crowdsource mobile application to understand the system's information architecture and usability. We then conducted 5 interviews with students who had used microtasking platforms like Amazon's Mechanical Turk and Crowdflower. We wanted to understand what motivated students to use these applications and what microtasking platforms were or weren't doing well to keep users engaged. After interviews found that microtasking platforms weren't effective at long-term user engagement, we conducted a comparative evaluation of direct, indirect, analogous, and parallel competitors in the field, including casual games like 2 Dots and the Wiki Game, which are engaging and have users complete short tasks. We wanted to see if our findings from interviews and comparative evaluations held up for a larger population, so we conducted a survey. The survey confirmed our prior findings. Findings from interviews, surveys, and comparative evaluations related to questions of motivation. This meant they were less immediately actionable than interface-level issues. We wanted to make sure Crowdsource would have takeaways that were fast, easy, and affordable to implement, so we conducted a heuristic evaluation. We generated a set of tailored heuristics based on Nielsen's heuristic criteria. We had 5 team members evaluate the Crowdsource mobile and desktop versions against each heuristic, and developed a set of recommendations based on our aggregated findings. Finally, we conducted 5 usability tests to identify places where users were struggling with the interface. We set up a series of 5 common tasks developed with input from our client team. We observed when and where users succeeded or struggled, and developed recommendations. There are many steps Crowdsource can take to improve the platform. The first and most critical is having a clear call to action. Users expressed they didn't understand why they would use Crowdsource in the first place, a finding we found in most of our evaluations. We suggest that Crowdsource provide a clear call to action on its landing page in the form of a banner, so users know exactly what they are doing, helping Google improve itself for its millions of users worldwide. By using altruism-focused messaging, Google Crowdsource can recognize its users for their contributions and make them feel valued, driving them to stay on the platform longer. Crowdsource currently uses badges and level ups to motivate users to keep going, but we found that users don't care about these, if they notice they are there at all. We found that badges and level ups would benefit from a visual redesign in line with platforms like 2 Dots, whose design is highly engaging. Further, when users do notice badges and level ups, they don't know what impact they have on the bigger Google ecosystem. We suggest reworking achievements to emphasize how users are helping by contributing. A common thread in all of our evaluations was that microtasking platforms were not particularly sticky, even with monetary compensation and some gamified elements. Crowdsourced users do tasks in isolation with few options to share achievements. Users felt the platform was too much work. They came in expecting to be entertained, not, as one user said, doing a job. We suggest that Crowdsource foster a sense of engagement with better gamification to break up the monotony of repetitive, highly structured tasks, and develop features that support social interaction and comparison. For example, Crowdsource could introduce leaderboards in activities like competitive translation. Users with the most accurate translation for a given set could win and move up in the leaderboard. This immediate feedback would inform users about the value of their contributions. Finally, Crowdsource can benefit from improving its interface usability. These issues are the easiest of our recommendations to fix quickly. Because Crowdsource is a program without paid benefits, we suggest reducing the barrier to submission so that users are encouraged to participate. Some tasks require users to enter multiple pieces of data. We suggest presenting these one at a time. To quote one of our users, "I'm doing this for free. Why are all these entries required?" Second, we found users struggled with picking and switching between languages in translation tasks. They found tasks frustrating and demanding, which led to low engagement. Making these more intuitive and in line with Google's other translation products could mitigate confusion. Users were also confused when task categories appeared but had no tasks to complete. We suggest removing empty categories and providing a navigation to the landing page or an informative message. Users found a lack of system feedback, taxing there is no consistent progress bar across platforms. On browser versions, tasks have a progress bar showing how many items are left in a set. On mobile, there isn't one. This is problematic because users doing highly structured repetitive tasks are prone to boredom and fatigue. Adding a progress bar provides feedback and mitigates boredom by increasing expectation of reward. Overall, to improve usability, we recommend Google improve language selection and switching, add a progress bar to tasks, remove the option of clicking tasks with no activities available to complete, and develop consistent navigation between mobile and desktop. Our studies did have some limitations. Our findings were based primarily on students in the United States, which are likely not a representative sample of crowdsource's target users. We believe our findings have merit, though, because crowdsource is focused on making the platform appealing to university students, even if they are located worldwide. It was also difficult to find past or current users. Only 2 research participants had used the application before. We therefore focused on recruiting users of similar platforms. For next steps, we suggest that Google consider implementing our recommendations, especially those surrounding call to action, to help users understand why they are contributing to the platform and their impact. We also suggest implementing smaller, cost-effective interface usability changes. We also suggest conducting further diary studies to help understand how users use Google Crowdsource over the long term, as our study provided insight only into short-term and potential users. We also suggest conducting unmoderated remote usability tests to further discover issues that impact the ability to complete and submit tasks. Thank you.